Listening Flow Podcast.
For speaking English with flow.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to the Listening Flow Podcast, your English podcast for daily life English, real conversations, and easy listening practice.
And if you're looking for a simple way to improve your English while listening to natural conversations, you're in the right place.
I'm Mag.
And I'm Jenna.
So, Jenna, have you ever known exactly what question somebody was going to ask and still felt nervous when they finally asked it?
Oh, yes. More times than I'd like to admit. What happened?
Well, today's topic is something every English learner will face sooner or later.
Really?
Absolutely. Whether you're meeting someone for the first time, starting a new job, joining an English class, or traveling abroad, at some point, somebody will ask you one simple question.
I think I know this one.
I think you do. The question is, tell me about yourself.
The most famous question in English.
Exactly. And surprisingly, it's also one of the questions that makes English learners the most nervous.
That's true, because it sounds simple, but when somebody asks it, your mind suddenly goes blank.
Exactly. And that's actually what we're going to talk about today. How to talk about yourself in English naturally, confidently, and without feeling lost.
And we'll show you that introducing yourself doesn't need complicated grammar or advanced vocabulary.
Not at all. In fact, by the end of today's episode, you'll have a simple structure you can use almost anywhere.
Job interviews, English classes, traveling, meeting new people.
Exactly. And before we get started, if you enjoy this podcast, please like the episode, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who is learning English.
Especially that friend who understands English perfectly until somebody says, "Tell me about yourself."
We all know that friend. Sometimes it's us.
Very true.
And actually, today's topic reminds me of something that happened to me when I first arrived in Ireland.
Oh, this sounds interesting.
Maybe not everyone knows this, but I'm from Brazil. And before 2023, I couldn't speak English at all.
Really?
Not at all. Back then, I started taking private lessons with a friend who had just returned from an exchange program in the United States. I studied consistently, and after about 6 months, I had already reached an intermediate level.
That's fast progress.
It really was. And because I was improving so quickly, I decided to do something bigger. I decided to go to Ireland for an exchange program. My goal was simple. I wanted to become fluent.
That must have been exciting.
Very exciting and very scary. Because on my first day, I had to take a placement test at the school.
Uh-oh.
And the person interviewing me was the director herself.
No pressure at all.
Exactly. And to make things even more interesting, she was Irish.
Now I understand why you were nervous.
Everybody talks about British accents, but Irish accents can be a real challenge when you're not used to them. So I sat down, took a deep breath, and waited for the first question. And guess what she asked?
Let me guess. Tell me about yourself.
Exactly. And here's the funny part. I knew she was going to ask that. I had prepared for it. I had practiced it. But the moment I heard the question, I still froze for a second.
I think every English learner understands that feeling.
I started talking about myself. My name, my age, the fact that I was Brazilian, my profession, my hobbies. I even talked a little about Brazil. Everything was going great. Then she asked me about my family. And suddenly she asked, "What does your sister do?"
Oh no.
And I had a problem. I didn't know how to say her profession in English.
What did you do?
I panicked. And the first profession that came into my head was nurse.
Was your sister a nurse?
Not even close. It was simply one of the first professions I had ever learned in English. So my brain just grabbed it and threw it into the conversation.
Survival English.
Exactly. And somehow, after all of that, she placed me in a B2 class.
That's incredible.
And that's one of the biggest lessons from today's episode. You don't need perfect English to communicate. You just need enough English to keep the conversation moving.
I love that. And I think that's the perfect place to start today's discussion.
So let's talk about why this simple question, tell me about yourself, can feel so difficult for so many English learners. And you know what's interesting? I think most people don't struggle with this question because they don't know English. They struggle because they don't know where to start.
That's true. When somebody says, "Tell me about yourself," your mind suddenly becomes very busy.
Exactly. You start thinking about your name, your job, your family, your hobbies, your city, or even your future plans. Everything appears at the same time.
And then your brain says, "Okay, where do I begin?"
Exactly. It's like opening a closet and having everything fall on top of you at once.
That's actually a great comparison because the information is there. It's just not organized.
And that's the good news. Most learners already know enough English to introduce themselves. They simply need a structure.
A roadmap.
Exactly. A roadmap. Because once you know the order, everything becomes easier.
So where should people start?
Always with the basics. Your name.
Simple but important.
For example, hi, my name is Mag.
Or, "I'm Jenna."
After that comes where you're from,
One of the most common questions in the world.
especially if you're traveling. When I was living in Ireland, people asked me that almost every day.
I can imagine.
So you can say, I'm from Brazil.
Or, "I come from the United States."
Simple, natural, and easy to remember.
And once you have your name and your country, you've already started your introduction.
Exactly. Most people think introductions are complicated, but they're really just several small answers connected.
I like that. Small answers connected together. That's the secret.
After your name and where you're from, people usually want to know what you do.
Work or studies, I believe.
Exactly. And honestly, this part is much easier than people think.
Because you don't need a fancy answer.
Not at all. You can simply say, I'm a teacher, I'm a student, or I'm an engineer.
Or, "I work in marketing."
When I first started speaking English, I thought every answer needed to sound impressive.
I think we've all done that.
The funny thing is that the more complicated I tried to sound, the more mistakes I made.
That's such an important lesson. Communication is more important than complexity.
Exactly. People don't care if your sentence is perfect. They care if they understand you.
And once people know what you do, the conversation usually moves to another topic.
Family.
A classic. For example, "I have one brother and one sister." Or, "I come from a big family." Simple and natural answers.
And here's something important. You don't need to tell people everything, because an introduction isn't your entire life story. I like thinking about it as a movie trailer, because a trailer gives people a quick idea, not the entire movie.
That makes sense, Mag. Because if people want to know more, they'll ask more questions. And that's how conversations grow naturally.
Now let's talk about one of my favorite topics, hobbies.
Mine too. Because hobbies are fun.
Exactly. Most people enjoy talking about things they love.
You can say, "I enjoy reading." "I like traveling." "I love listening to music." Or, "I enjoy learning languages." Simple answers like these can start great conversations.
Absolutely. I remember meeting people from all over the world in Ireland.
And what did people talk about?
Usually hobbies, because hobbies help people connect. Two people may have completely different jobs, different backgrounds, and different cultures. But if they both love traveling, suddenly they have something in common.
That's true. Shared interests make conversations easier, and hobbies often reveal something else, like your personality. Maybe you're curious, creative, or adventurous. And describing your personality doesn't need to be difficult.
Not at all. You can say, I'm friendly, I'm curious, I'm organized, or I'm outgoing. One or two adjectives are usually enough.
And after personality, many people like mentioning future goals, because goals tell people where you're going.
Exactly. You can say, I'm currently improving my English, or I'm working toward a new career.
Future goals always make conversations feel positive. People love talking about the future.
So, let's put everything together, and everything is going to start making sense. Here's an example. Hi, my name is Mag. I'm from Brazil, and I work as an English teacher and YouTuber. I enjoy helping people learn English through podcasts and videos. In my free time, I like traveling, going to the gym, learning new things, and creating content. I describe myself as curious, friendly, and hardworking. One of my goals is to help more people become confident English speakers. It's nice to meet you.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Let me try. Hi, I'm Jenna. I'm from the United States, and I work as an English teacher. I enjoy helping students improve their communication skills. In my free time, I like reading, listening to music, spending time with friends, and exploring new places. I describe myself as positive, organized, and outgoing. One of my goals is to continue helping English learners around the world. It's great to meet you.
Perfect, Jenna. You know, when I think back to my placement test in Ireland, I remember something important. My English wasn't perfect, not even close, but I kept talking.
And that's the key. You can make mistakes, forget words, and get nervous, but never stop speaking.
And that's what we want our listeners to remember today. Don't wait until your English is perfect before you start speaking. Practice first, confidence comes later.
That's a beautiful lesson. So now we'd love to hear from you. How would you introduce yourself in English? Tell us in the comments. Keep it simple. The goal is practice, not perfection.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please like the video, subscribe to the Listening Flow podcast, and share it with a friend who is learning English.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep speaking English with flow.
One conversation at a time. I'm Mag,
And I'm Jenna.
and you've been listening to the Listening Flow podcast. Goodbye,
Goodbye,
everyone.
everyone.